Well, good morning, everyone. Let's see here. We've got the chats up. We've got, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Here they come, the guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
How are you?
Well, I'm pretty well. I just got back jumped in the shower.
Well, no need to chastise today. Your camera's in the right direction. Let's go. It's Friday.
Exactly. It's Friday, and I am so grateful that it is. It's been a long week, it seems like, for me.
Well, enjoy it, because there's another one coming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good morning, James.
Good morning, gentlemen.
All right, let's say some good mornings here. We have Joshua, S187 is here. Joy here. Good morning, Joy. Patty, good morning. Thank you for the kind words. Charlie is here. Good morning, Charlie. The legendary John Gwynn is here. Traveler's here. Good morning, guys or gals. I'm not sure if Traveler's a guy or a girl. Sorry. My apologies if I got it wrong. Good morning, Tire Man. Good morning, T. Rainey 2. See, I'm getting it right. Good morning to Condruta Cecilia. And D is here as well. John, thank you for the donuts. Steph is here. Good morning. And it is Donuts Friday for our daily goal. And thank you, John, for contributing to that already. Scratch 65 is here. Good morning, Scratch. And Franny Drag is here. Good morning, Franny. Alex, remind me after to talk to you about subscriptions off camera, backstage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Charlie, thank you for the gift, I think it'll take a cup of coffee. All right, so let's see. Dave, how are you this morning?
Morning, guys.
How's the battle?
It's good. Very good. Ran and got some parts from the tractor today and about had a full beef on the grill. There was about a 3,000-pound bull standing next to the road.
Oh, serious?
So I just got back. I had to find the people that would take care of it in the neighborhood and found a lady to call guys. So
Hashtag country life.
Well,
that's right. I said good luck.
Wouldn't that be be owned by someone?
Yeah, it was. I went to the house and nobody was home. Went to another neighbor's, nobody was home. Went down a little bit further and I said, "Hey, there's a 3,000-pound bull next to the road." I drove by and go, "Whoa." You know?
Wow.
It's not uncommon in the country.
What's that?
Put his picture up, Dave. Yeah, I will. Oh, good idea. He was a big boy. Oh, yeah.
Really don't know what the hell to do, man. I'd probably turn the other way and run. Holy smokes.
I chased him back into the yard a little bit with my truck and next along the road. He's probably 3,000 pounds.
Holy smokes.
I said something along those lines when I went past him.
Yeah.
There's grass-fed Iowa black beef.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'd love to have that on my plate.
His real name was Thor.
Yeah.
Wow. Thor to the neighborhood lady. I said, "Good luck. I'm out of
here." The brand on his ass is FAFO.
That's right.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I want to get a little geez, we hit our halfway to our goal. You guys are fantastic. You are on top of it today. Goodness.
Leah.
What's that?
Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Lee.
Hello, Grand Rising.
How are you, dear?
I'm well. This morning, I agree.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so let's see. We have Traveler, who I said hello to, Franny Dragonfly, Charlie. Traveler and John Gwynn just sent a whole bunch of donuts. And Franny Dragonfly, thank you so much. Good morning, King's Girl 1974. Donna Fox, good morning for the gifts. Karen is here. And Lisa Maria, the one and only, is here as well. All right, so James, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all. We finally got a break in the rain. Looks like we got partly cloudy skies. We'll probably be back into Sunday, hopefully.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's kick this thing. No, Dana Mackey's here as well. Harry DeBob. Good morning, everyone. So, Alex, let's start off. What are we looking at? Indexes, bills, crypto.
Crude oil sitting at $58.46 a barrel. That's good news. I think I sent you the picture. Gas here in Kansas is sitting about 80.
Yeah, rub it in a little more. Why don't you?
285. Talked to my nephew in Oklahoma, and 265 for him.
Yeah, 425 in California.
I'm sorry. Get the hell out. So, $3,253. Silver sitting at $32.33. Platinum $982, down just a little, but palladium is up to $984.
Wow.
Look at the American Stock Exchange indices, S&P 500 up 78 to 5,682. The Dow is up 530 to 41,290, and the Nasdaq is up 282 points, sitting at 17,933. Markets today a little mixed. Bitcoin's up a little bit, $97.89 per unit. XRP sitting at $2.20. Ethereum $18.41.
Excellent. It looks like we're having a good day so far.
I mean, we all woke up. It's a good day.
Exactly. Hey, Chris Romano's here. Hey, Chris. Goat Father, thank you for the gifts. Thank you. It's appreciated.
Morning, goat.
Mary McCrary's here. Huh?
I said, morning, goat, you savage.
All right. So, Dave, what do we have in terms of farming and agriculture?
Markets, corn's down a little bit. Soybeans and wheat are up for the day. As of Monday, they'll have another planting report on the progress of the U.S. Planting report. And the USDA is now to require Doge to approve loans over $500,000 that are going out to farmers.
Oh.
So somebody was complaining about being, well, it's that's necessary, you know. Any big bites like that, it's pretty important to keep track of.
Yeah.
Just hand it out.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Hokey Gigi's just made it in, and Karen, welcome, everyone. James, what do we have from a military perspective?
Well, I think everybody be pleased to understand or hear. In the beginning of the week, I reported that our Houthi target's about 800. As of last night, it surpassed 1,000. That campaign began in March, and it's called, I really kind of like the words, Operation Rough Rider.
Oh.
So, and that is targets is command and control facilities, air defense systems, weapons staging, storage, and production sites. It's so good to report. This is a positive report for me today. It's not doom and gloom like yesterday. 33-year-old Zachary Sessa is an F-35 Lightning pilot, and he's been named the Marine Fighter Attack Squadron number 314 Aviator of the Year.
Wow.
He led the first attacks in Yemen.
Oh, wow.
So that's a 3-year-old. That's a pretty big accomplishment.
Wow.
So in other military news, the National Defense Authorization Act prohibits the Pentagon from entering, renewing, or extending contracts, goods, services with companies or entities based in or affiliated with China.
Interesting.
So that's another noose around their neck. Educationally, the Kentucky Department of Education partnered the U.S. Army to start a statewide JROTC program. So that's kind of cool for the young ones that want to start a military career at a younger age. They can become affiliated, and from what I understand, the enrollment is very high.
Excellent. Great report this morning, James. Thank you. Excuse me. Karen is here. Martin's WB made it into the fold here. Okay. Mary Lise Brown 183 is here. Good morning, Crystal Zeski. Glad you can make it and you're on time, so no need for a scolding. Now, Lee, Based on today, is there anything astrologically that we should be aware of?
We're in a great moon phase. This moon phase is for old timelines, and it is kind of aggressive. So when you are purging these, allow your body to release. If you need to cry, if you need to, isolate for a little bit, do that. You can do a spiritual, all the things. But as far as that, the moon phase is really tense. And I just encourage everybody to, release, because we're going into a really grand timeline that is very abundant.
So in terms of releasing, you said crying was one option. What would be some other things that people do to promote that?
You can do meditations, but then you can also just fast in the morning. Fasting in the morning is really good. I'm a water sign. Cry. That seems to be, kind of the go-to that. But go outside. Put your feet down on the ground. That's how you're going to be able to ground yourself and talk to your higher self. Talk to your spiritual team. Talk to the Holy Spirit. Talk to the universe. Tell it what you want. What do you want? Anything that is for you will never pass you. It's for you.
Words of wisdom. Thank you, Lee.
James is the same way. He's a crier too.
Hey, I just wanted to shore this whole, yeah, right. I just wanted to shore this up that Dave had a spiritual moment this morning when he saw Thor.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I would have had a spiritual moment, probably accompanied by some sort of release of bowels or something. I don't know.
Really, fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Karen in the comments is saying manifest. Yes, this is the time to do that, because if you have this cup of life, right, and you don't use some of the toxicities that are in it, it's like, how are you supposed to put yourself if your cup is already full? So that's what I'm saying when I say release the old things, release the old toxic version, the old indoctrinated thoughts that you've already had, because in this timeline we're unlearning to relearn who we are in a spiritual sense and where we came from.
And like you said, yes, can't fill a cup up that's already full.
Yeah, you really can't. It's really hard because essentially it's going to overflow, and you want to keep the goodness, but you want to release the badness.
Yeah.
I make up my own words, but you do want to get rid of the things that that don't serve you anymore.
Right. 100%. Great. Benji 1959 is here. Well, it's here. Tarina is here. Hi, Linda. Glad you can make it. Mama Bear is in the house. And CJ. Okay. Let's move over to the article today. Doge refers, this is according to The Hill, Doge refers of voter fraud cases to the DOJ. Alex, are we looking at the first domino of election integrity?
I just ordered another case of popcorn.
Exactly. I mean, this could be significant.
It's not could be. Look, it's not a matter of if it's going to come out, it's when.
I agree.
And I think that the more evidence that piles up, there's 20% of the population that is never, ever, ever going to believe that the sky is blue. They'll walk outside and argue with you while staring at the sky to tell you that it's not blue. And we understand that, but I think we're at that precipice of openness to facts and reality and receipts, like we always talk about, that as it starts to come out. I mean, most of your viewers, most of us on the panel, we already know this, and it's refreshing to see more and more and more coverage and undeniable receipts of
Right.
what it's cost us.
Exactly. 100% I agree. Dave,
Well, it's time, and I think they're trying to walk away and walk it right, and to get it's going to come out from underneath that rock,
well, a big part of it, and I also think that, I mean, we're talking about Doge and fraud cases in terms of voters. Now, we all know, at least we all believe, that there are millions of votes. If you think for a second that Biden got 81 million votes, how about 13 million more than Obama? I mean, you have got to be delusional, number one. Number two, you think that Kamala Harris got 70 million votes? I think you have to be delusional to believe that. James, you're kind of chuckling over there. What are you thinking?
You know, they got the dogs and they're hunting, and they discover money spent on election bribes, and that's going to lead to the guilty parties. I mean, it's a kind of a follow the hunting dog. It's going to lead them to the game.
Yeah, I would agree. Lee, what are your thoughts on voter fraud deal?
It's going to be a slow drip because I don't think everybody's ready for it. I have done the work and are on a spiritual awakening. You know, we get it. We're more expansive and like, okay, I accept that or that kind of thing. But I think people that are very indoctrinated and very comfortable in the narrative in their mind, it's going to show people. I just read an article this morning about Doge going into, I guess they had a meeting. I'm trying to think of the guy's, his last name is Waters. And
Jesse Waters?
Yes. And that interview was incredible. Yeah, I see you, Alex. It was great. Some of the things that were coming out, it was just, some people just are not going to be ready for that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The level of cognitive dissonance. What's that, Alex?
It's just that 20% is gonna.
Right.
Right. But we also have NPCs, and we also know that God, everyone's going to see. A lot of people are very comfortable in the narrative that they're running in their head, you know, so it's kind of like you just let them sleep.
Well, and I think, you know, at a more fundamental level, human beings do not like mystery. Human beings would rather cling on to something that is proven to be wrong or believe a lie to make themselves feel comfortable. And I understand, but the level of
syndrome.
What's that?
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. And the level of cognitive dissonance, although we're dropped precipitously over the last several years, there's still a lot of people out there that just don't get it yet. And I think it's really important for us to be gentle with them, in my opinion. Let's move over now. We've got the Trump effect. Mercedes is going to make a model in the U.S. to counter tariffs. Now, Dave, what are you seeing in terms of the agriculture world and in terms of tariffs? Are we seeing it there?
It's actually on the price of grains. The price of grain tariffs have been deployed are up, surprisingly. It sounds like we're going to be turning on using a lot of stuff that we produce here in the United States.
Oh, no. We just have a violation warning. Huh. Well, we're still on, so.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it consists of. We're going to be using everything in the United States. So, you know, It's not a negative yet. Right.
And James, in terms of the tariffs and the military, is there any play there that we should be aware of?
Well, obviously, you're going to have some tariffs on electronics. I mean, even though we try to much U.S.-born things in our aircraft, in our technology, whether it's tanks, trucks, what have you, they have a say-so. They have a chip that we need. That's why we're trying to become self-sufficient. As of right now, I can't tell you what that's affected, but I know it has something to do with munitions. And now the total ammunition management information system is going to require an upgrade, but it's also going to use AI. What that does is it tells the people that manage munitions across all bands of government or all bands of the military. It's managed by the U.S. Thank you very much. It's a multi-billion-dollar expense, and that's something that we're going to employ so we don't become so in on foreign entities to provide munitions.
Right.
So that it does have a play. Whether or not it's expensive or any more expensive today than it was 6 months ago, I can tell you that.
Right. Okay. Alex, did you want to add anything to that?
No. To all the trolls. No.
Yeah, I noticed that there were so many of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much for helping algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. And Alex kind of clued me into that because before, when we started this, I'd be feverishly trying to remove people and Alex and Dave and Jen. And I'm like, whatever, man. People that understand, and they're going to get it. So, I don't know. Whatever. So now, just in case, everybody, we just got a violation warning. I don't know what that's about. I don't know where it came from. It didn't give me any, but it didn't shut us down. So if for some reason we go dark, I don't know why. But I'll put something out if in fact that does happen. All righty. So let's see here. Q just made it. Good morning, Subi Q, and TGI Friday to you as well. Mama said, is it in the comments? Is that why you get a violation? I don't know. I wonder if things in the comments would cause violation.
And Lisa Piquel asked, she said, what does that mean? That means we're over the target.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
and it's probably somebody saying that we did something and reporting us more than likely. So
Well, you
Yes,
know what's
we love the TikTok shop though.
exactly. Nice save, Lee. So, you know what's interesting too, everyone, is we're live on TikTok and we're streaming to 4 other platforms. And what I've noticed on YouTube in the last, I spent time, and we have on TikTok over 80,000 followers. On YouTube, I had 1,000, right? So you can see the level of shadow taking place. Well, in the last week, there's been like 200 people that have added to YouTube. I don't know what. I don't think we're doing different, but is it a possibility that the Patriots are moving towards a control of that platform? What do you think, Alex?
I don't know. I mean, time will tell. Just for all the viewers, just so you know, in the event we did have some kind of shutdown on this particular platform, one of the rest of us can go ahead and facilitate the show, or we can facilitate the show on the other platforms. So if you're not following us on the other forums, please go find Sam on the other platforms, just as a backup. And that's all we're going to give the attention to.
Yeah, and I should say that, so on YouTube, it's just Sam Shalhoub. Hey, we got a train. Nice. On YouTube, it's Sam Shalhoub. On Rumble, it's Shalhoub. On X, it's Shalhoub Sam. And we stream on all those platforms. So if, God forbid, something like that happens. Oh, and Facebook as well. Facebook is just Sam.
Since we were on the subject of Trump, U.S. added 177,000 jobs, which was 90% gains in the private sector for April.
Exactly. And if you look at those numbers, I think it was 90% are American, native born.
Yep.
That's the big thing.
In government jobs.
yeah, the private sector is huge.
Exactly. Sheila Dean, thank you for the gifts. BR 549. Share Baby 20 said people can't be adults and scroll instead of reporting. Yeah, I know. What are you gonna do? John Gwynn, thank you for the train. That was really cool. Like I said, I'm like a kid. I see these new gifts that come up with us to planes or these universes or these scratches. I just cracks me up. I see something shiny. I might lose my train of thought, but bear with me.
It's interesting on the Dow Jones. It's only like roughly off of where it fell from.
Yeah.
At top.
Right.
So where it's slowly gaining at 1.5 today.
Yeah, exactly. So next, DNI Tulsi Gabbard shared some information on the Megyn Kelly show. She said that they're investigating Dr. Fauci for potentially perjuring himself during the hearings with Rand Paul on gain of function. That little troll, a lot of things that I could imagine doing to him as some sort of reciprocity for what he's done. I can't say them, obviously, on this platform or any platform at this point, but the fact that it's coming out with Tulsi Gabbard speaks volumes to me. Not to mention what is being mentioned about Mike Flynn having another reappearance in the administration. What do you think, James?
Tom Homan.
Exactly.
Wait till you see what's coming.
Exactly.
That's what I'll say about it.
100%. Alex?
Damn it, James stole my thunder.
Hey, there we go, Dave.
So coincidentally, at the same time that this information is populating the airwaves, releases a white paper saying that the virus came from here first.
Well, should we talk a little bit about those labs in Ukraine? Should we talk a little bit about those labs in other parts of the country?
No, buy it on the TikTok shop.
Right, but yeah, but you know where I'm going with that. I mean,
Where you're going with that.
yeah.
We are headed for Nuremberg too.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no way around it, folks. Accountability is coming.
Yeah, amen. % I agree. Stephanie's here. Benji 1959 said soft disclosures trickle. Benji, I think, again, we can't just blurt this stuff out. We have got to bring people up slowly, bring them up to speed, or otherwise people would literally freak, in my opinion. Tina's here. Good morning, Tina. TK Hurley girl with all the donuts. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. Share, baby.
For those of you that need more info, are curious, you can go to covid.gov. covid.gov.
Yep.
Redirection to the White House. Just heads up.
Oh, speaking of the White House, so last night, AF Patriot is on X. He's one of the guys I follow. He's a great decoder. Anyway, he posted the White House now. You have the ability to send a text to Donald Trump via the White House. And I did it last night, and it was an immediate response. Okay, you're now part of this notification system. And, all of the anons were just like, oh my God, looking at a blackout coming. Is there, something going to happen? And I don't, also guys, I wonder if I can access that here.
Sam, you didn't have it?
Not the new one. Not the new, this one just came out. I thought you
had Donald's number. And you just.
Oh yeah, exactly.
This is my contact list.
Yeah, exactly. But
He's still pining for the press release or the press job, trying to get that.
well, all I can say is that I did put in all my credentials. They accepted my application. But you know what I've got my eye on now? One's on Fox News that sits on the couch in the morning. I don't even know his name. I've been with that particular segment of the show for like 25 years. He's just retiring. So I just want to say that if the opportunity arises, I would be open to the possibility of filling that spot.
That was awesome.
That'd be awesome. Are you kidding me, man? They throw me off the first day. What do you mean, Sam? What does Q mean? I don't get it.
Yeah, couch is not big enough to sit.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that he, after I think 25, 30 years, some ridiculous amount of time, he's semi-retiring now. And again, I think, I don't think CNN, Fox, MSNBC, any of them they've always been sides of the same coin, but now we're seeing a little more movement on Fox to what I would consider exposure. At least that's my opinion.
Peter Ducey, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
I'm sorry, Lee, if you're going to say that.
You're fine. I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say retirement or removal.
Well, that's a very good question. Very good question. The cover story is semi-retirement, but you absolutely could be right. No idea. Great, bring it up.
Watch him in the press briefings. I mean, go back 2, 3, 4, all the way back to Sarah. Like, the dude is drenched in deep state. Like, the questions he asks, it's just goodbye, see you later, have fun.
Yeah.
You can join John on the TikTok.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like I said, I might last about an hour on that show, and then they'd be kicking me off. They'd have security coming to pull me off. So
his favorite was Jean-Pierre.
Jump. Oh yeah, right. Exactly. Priya, she said lock up. Yeah, exactly. Crystal, thank you for the gifts, and Laura Murray, thank you for the gifts. Karen said what's in Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was saying. And Alex rightly corrected me, because if I say too much, it's dark, and we don't want to let that happen if we can help it. All right, so let's see. We have David Mackey's out there saying, tap, tap, we got to dance. Gosh, you guys are brutal. All right, well, let's see. Oh, and Donna Fox as well. Tap, tap. Jason Jones just made it in. Good morning, Jason. Jump on the tapping bandwagon this morning as well. Chumber1234 said, "Yet you watch Fox." Well, I wouldn't say I watch Fox. I am aware of what the enemy is doing, and I think the only way you can keep some sort of tabs on them. But no, do I get my news from Fox? No, of course not. All right, just like Beth Dutton, thank you for all the gifts. It's appreciated. Boy, we do have some trolls in here today, don't we?
That's a keep rolling.
We're
Back to the
rolling.
news.
Rolling. All right. Next, we have the U.S. Department of Defense wants new and existing defense contracts to give the Army the right to repair its own weapons in a bid to save money. Now, I don't know much of. I didn't even know that was the case. James, what do you know about that?
Some of the technologies that they purchase, they're only be able to be worked on by computers, and some of the just like the technologies with John Deere, it's kind of the technologies with Cadillac. Caterpillar, you can only access those computer systems with their system. So it's kind of like a proprietary right that they're trying to buy.
Is that kind of like when you go to a car dealer, the way the cars are made, you have to have the computer to get the diagnostics? Yeah.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts about that? Hey, look at that. We got some crazy birds over my head. Nice.
It's kind of silly because the government can just say, hey, we're not going to buy this unless you do that.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense. It should be set up before the purchase. And I can understand farming and stuff like that a little bit more because it isn't as necessary in the sense of if we're at war or if we're, isn't that,
Right.
But it should be all set up. And what are they going to say?
Exactly. So somebody in the chat said, Sam, how do we get on that notification system? Hold on to see if I can pull this up here on another computer, because I just did it last night. So if you have, let's see here. Bear with me, everybody. I'm the correct. Well, I'm going to have to search it out and then I'll post somewhere. Actually, if one of you guys could pull up X, go to Real AF Patriot, and he's got it posted from yesterday, if you can find it. Gosh, we already hit the daily goal. You guys are fantastic so much. So anyway, back to this Festus. Alex is looking that up to see if we can find it, and he will let us know if he's found it. Mama Bear, thank you. Traveler, thank you. Mary McCrary pushing the tap again. John Gwynn said mineral rights according to Bloomberg. Yeah, we're getting that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Scratch 65 said that could help improve the ability to maintain and upgrade its equipment. Yeah, of course. It's a money-making scheme. Oh, look at that cute dog. How sweet.
TikTok rounds on phone numbers, but you have to text the word.
That's it.
Yeah, text the word America to 202-933-9934.
Right.
You can't type it in the chat.
Okay.
Get your pens ready. America. Text that word America to 202-933-934.
Got it. Okay, I hope that works, Festus. I hope you got that. All right, let's see. Lisa Maria said, we're showing the trolls some love in the comments. Good. You guys get them for us.
The information is on X at the White House. It's at White House. So go to X, type in at White House, and that's where the original post came from.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, so anyway, I did that, and apparently that new White House website, The Wire, they have some sort of notification as well. Now, I didn't do that one yesterday, but that is another option as well. All right, so let's talk about the Hill. U.S. nuclear talks are postponed. Now, James, what type of armament do we have over in that area if something was to pop off?
We have ICBMs, long-range ballistic missiles, everything laser guided from aircraft, and we also have satellites. So when they talk about directed energy weapons, we also have those too.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, DEWs, man, those are serious. And you guys know what my proclivity for lasers. We've already talked about that. But for those of you who don't know, I own lasers that are very powerful. And I can literally take lasers. It's a little handheld. Some of them are this big, some are this. I can point it 2 blocks away to a fire sprinkler system and 2 blocks away. Now, if I can get those, could you imagine what we must have in the military? Exactly. So, and, kind of the wild card at this point, Alex, what do you make of that?
I think that it's 2 days. It could be distraction, right? Look at this. Look over here. Fear mongering. Oh no, don't do this anymore. Or the deal's done, and the narrative is going to take a while to roll out.
Right. Lee, what do you think? What's your when you hear about Iran and what's going on over there? What is your response to that?
I don't have a comment on that.
Okay.
And I think it's just because there's so many storylines and narratives being talked about that it's kind of blurry for me. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
Honestly, we just need to all come together.
Yeah, 100%.
Regardless where we're at in the world, if we all come together, there's more of us than there are of them.
Right, and that's been the age-old, book that they've used, division, whether it's gay and straight, white or black, Iran, U.S. That's always been their playbook, and I think you're right. Coming together disarms that 100%. I agree. David, would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. In the comments, Alex is saying thank you for getting that done.
Welcome. 50K.
No way. Holy smokes, we already hit 50K? Wow. I can't believe.
I'd like to add to the Iran thing. They're backing the Houthis. And they're after 1,000 targets, they still have weapons. They're getting them from Iran. And that's why their continued support, that's why we're gonna say, okay, hey, all bets are off with Iran. If you guys continue to do your uranium in above 2%, 3% that they don't need, we're gonna shut them down too. And they're on the target list.
Well,
know the history and look at who put that Ayatollah in place. Like, free agencies have been manipulating world governments for decades and decades and decades. So that goes back to the narrative that I was speaking of. Like, okay, Muslimhood, ISIS, where is the money coming from to fund them? And we find out through USAID that we're our own enemy. Like, make sense. So where does this narrative take us? And what do the people of the country want? Our country, their country, versus what those that might be pulling power want, right? So we're just gonna have to be patient.
Well, and President Trump, on the heels of that, came out yesterday and said all purchases of Iranian oil or petrochemical products must stop now. Any country or person who buys any amount of oil or petrochemicals from Iran will be subject to immediately secondary sanctions. I mean, that's some strong words, not playing around. And to have that followed up right after they're saying, oh, well, we're not going to come back to the table, something's up with that.
Yeah, Easter spring.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta cut the head in there, and the head is the money. You shut that down, it shuts everything.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Follow the money. Follow that. And a lot of these wars are actually funded by our securities on the side. So if you follow that money to there, then it'll kind of open up something else in your life to realize, trying to be careful with what I say, but you'll start to realize where those securities are actually coming from.
It's Friday. Throw caution to the wind. Put it all out there. Let's go.
So, and everybody, I want everyone to understand that Lee is absolutely super well versed on the whole Strawn situation. And I would encourage everyone in the chat to go to her page on TikTok and follow her. If you have any questions about the straw man, about these nefarious deeds that have been going on for decades, I highly encourage you to follow Lee. She's very knowledgeable, much more so than I am, and I have her help as many people as possible because it's well deserved.
And here's a quick read, but on Amazon and you look up Meet Your Straw Man. It's a real quick book. It's not a big book. It's a quick read. It kind of gives you a synopsis of what's going on and where you stand. Because remember, it's spiritual. You have to get back to who you are. What is your lineage? Where did you come from? What is your divinity? And I think when we all start to realize who we, a person, our higher self, and then like where we came from and our lineage, our past, all the kind of things, it'll kind of disrupt again the narrative in your head. And then you're going to start to realize that everything came from you. If God is within you, will not fail, then you have that energy within you too. And they've tried to suppress that for so many years. Meet Your Straw Man, Mary. It's on Amazon. It's like less than $13.
I bought that book a few months ago and read it myself. Very good suggestion. Thank you, Lee.
And it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna have a little cry moment. I know I did. I'm a crybaby, but you do have that flesh of, oh my gosh, this is really real.
Yeah, exactly. Siddharth over on YouTube said, "Hey, what's going on, guys? Catch me up." Siddharth, there's way too much to be catching you up on, but we are essentially going over the highlights over the last 24 hours of the news feed. There's a lot going on, so just keep tuning in and you'll catch where we're going. JT Metal Slayer made it. Metal Slayer and Jerry BR and John Doherty's here. What was that, Alex?
Meet Your Straw Man is actually part of a 3-book series, and if you don't like reading the books, it is narrated in several different ways that you can follow it along.
Right, exactly. Hey, Cam is here. Yes, Cam, we will be dancing, but it won't be till the end of the show. Karen said tap dancing. Oh, that cracks me up. So we have a lot of new people in here on TikTok. If you want that follow button, I do a daily dispatch, which is basically a synopsis of the 24 hours of all the world's events, and would love to have you be part of it. Also, we do have subscriptions on TikTok now. Would love to have you be part of the inner circle. So let's pause here for our sponsor shout outs, Alex. So first off, everybody knows MyPillow has me since I began this venture. And Mike Lindell is a good man. MyPillow is a good company that makes American products. If you want to support this channel, Mike Lindell and America, go to mypillow.com or go to mystore.com. They're sister sites. If you use the code SAM, you'll get up to 80% off of over 200 products. Secondly, we have Neil Naturopathic. It's the only non-toxic hair care products in the country today that I'm aware of. Dr. Neil's a personal friend of mine. If you go to neilnaturopathic.com, use the discount code SAM20, that's SAM20, you'll get 20% off of all of your orders. And then lastly, Dr. Peter Glidden, stalwart of health and wellness. Go to Sam Shalhoub. There's 2 buttons, one that'll take you to his website and one that'll let you buy his book with the code at a 10% discount. And we would be remiss in our duties if we didn't talk about cyber security. Alex?
Risktool Technologies, which is risktooltech.com. If you don't understand technology landscape for your business, we make it as easy as a checklist. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? As well as provide training for your staff. risktooltech.com.
And did you put that in the chat, Alex?
I will.
Thank you, sir. All righty. So we have Agape Children. Stacy's here. She said, I agree with Lee. It's got to be we people. 100% I agree. 100%. Charlie, thank you for the sunglasses. That was really cool. Jerry BR549 said, come on, let's get to 100,000. What are we at right now? 60,000. Wow. You guys are amazing. Yeah, we get 100,000. I'd be stoked. Agape Rescues Children, Stacy said she's spot on. She is. Lee is very sharp. JT Metal Slayer said Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Those are three companies that I personally think there's much more going on behind the scenes with those companies than meets the eye. I could be wrong, but they sure have done a 180 in terms of supporting President Trump in the recent past. Lisa Maria said, I've followed her for quite some time. Love her content. Exactly. Lee is on top of it. Jen X Holtz is here. Good morning, Jen. Glad you could make it. Rosie, thank you for the gifts. CMAC 14, thank you for the gifts. Brian just came in. Hey, Brian, I'm glad you can make it. All right, so let's see here. We've got, Brian said, internet going crazy lately. I haven't noticed that here, but that's not to say it's not happening somewhere else. Have you guys seen anything with that?
Negative.
Okay. All right, so zero. What's that, Lee? Well, you're just targeted in general.
So if you are having issues with internet or you need something on, there is a website called downdetector.com. Looking at it right now, Zeal, Xfinity, Bank of America, Ally Finance, Fiserv, Old Bank, Spectrum, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, X, all seem to be showing a slight uptick in connectivity issues, but it's not off the charts.
Cool. Thanks for bringing that up, Alex. Hey, Chuck Humphrey made it. Thank you, Chuck. All right. So yesterday, Zero Hedge talked about Amazon announcing a $4 billion rural delivery network, estimating 100,000 new jobs. And on the same day, UPS out and said they're scaling back their projections. What do you think is going on there, you guys? Alex?
Narrative.
I think he's putting everything in house. Our local Amazon, which is only 3-4 years old, is building a separate building with all their own delivery out of it.
Interesting.
Well, there's also some other mitigating factors that I think they're facing. So I personally happen to know somebody in the Kansas City metro area. So they outsource a lot of their deliveries to contractors. And one of my best friends, his brother-in-law was actually called to unalived by 2 dogs. And that has turned into a major law because Amazon is saying, well, it was a contractor, it's not our responsibility. And the contract that he was with is like, you know, what do we do because we were contracted delivering your packages? It's turning into quite a very large situation, very sad situation. Father of 2 is gone. And they had to go through the process of figuring, did he, you know, have a heart attack and the dogs did something, or did the dogs facilitate the end? And it is true that the dogs facilitated the end of him. So I think there's probably another portion of them bringing it in-house is to avoid liabilities and have a streamlined process for the deliveries so that it's not a liability situation.
And drone delivery, more than likely.
Well,
Another piece of it.
so the drone delivery, so about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, there was all this hoopla about drones that were going to start delivering for Amazon. And then some takes a pew and shoots a drone down, right? And then all of a sudden, there was this big debate about how much of the airspace do you own over your home? Is it legal for you to do something out of the sky? And then it just seemed like the whole drone delivery just went away. And now that it's back on the table.
It will be. I mean, the drones are here to stay, and they're only going to get bigger and better, especially in the farming industry.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I haven't seen anything in the narrative about it. Have you?
I have not seen anything since for Amazon. I know it was in the talk 2 or 3 years ago, and it's good. I don't know how it wouldn't be. Obviously, with as many, more retail stuff closing, we're losing malls around us. Obviously, they're going down by the wayside. If you can literally order something and an hour later it could be at your front door. That's the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to happen.
Well, you
Sad
know,
to say.
funny you say that because from 1987 to 2001, I had a technology company. So I rode the dot-com boom at that time. And back then, you know, there was 98% of the companies that were launched back then are no longer in existence. But there were some companies that were specifically, their intention is to deliver whatever you bought within an hour, right? Which is a great idea, but because they didn't have the long-term, footprint, they went away. But the drones make that possible again. And I mean, could you imagine shopping at, I don't know, Walmart or what, and oh, look at that, how cute little puppy. And I saw something shiny. Sorry, guys. But you're shopping at whatever brick and mortar, and it's at your home in an hour. I mean, I don't see how I think that's phenomenal.
I just did an internet check, and I think Alex did too. Go ahead.
The global drone package delivery market size reached a value of more than $1 billion in 2024. The global market is expected to grow 41.8% in 25 and 34, reaching a value of $45 billion. So it's drone package delivery. They're used to deliver food. When you look at Uber Eats and all these, there are lots of companies that are facilitating drone delivery. So it's phenomenal.
It's in. Go ahead, Dave. No, go ahead.
And for farming, the swarming technology. So if I drones, they all realize where they're at. They talk to each other, and they go out and swarm and spray and come back and fill, and it's just.
And those farming drones are the size of the bed of a pickup. They're not small. I mean,
they're over 6 foot. And they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Some are up to 15 gallons they carry.
You know what's interesting is in Japan, I've seen footage of this. They have drone delivery, but the way they do it is there's a vending machine, on a street corner or street, on the street somewhere, and people order whatever it is they're going to order. And then what happens is the drone gets dispatched from wherever it's coming from. That drone lands on the machine, drops the package, and then that package is delivered to the customer through that machine. And that way there's no chance of anybody getting hurt by the drone. But that would seem to me, here in the U.S.
Japan has the most amazing vending machines and toilets.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but for sure, vending machines. Interesting that's what you up of all the things in Japan is a toilet.
I've been there surprisingly, I've been there multiple times, and it's like,
yeah,
geez, that does that, and that's got warm. And that's not the vending.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
When you talk about drones, Sam, you're talking about mitigated airspace. We're talking about something that hasn't been part of society for a very long time, and now we're going to clutter the skies like birds with drones. So mitigated airspace, they're going to have some problems. They're going to run into some aircraft, crop dusters. It could be airlines. It could be helicopters from the military. So all that's a part of it. But also, too, along with the Amazon cuts, and Alex touched on this, they have and I do the same thing in the trucking industry. I contract with bigger companies to haul their freight. In the end, the person that hired me is ultimately responsible. I'm just responsible for what I do on the road.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, James. Didn't mean to cut you off.
The other bad part about their contractors, their largest contractor was United Service, Brown. And Brown is now forced to cut 20,000 jobs just because they lost the contract with Amazon, because they beefed up to handle it, and now they got to cut when Amazon cuts their contract. So it's not a good sign.
Well, you talked about the possibility of air collisions. Well, isn't it interesting that we're having the whole air traffic narrative being brought back in, and President Trump saying this is weighted and we don't have enough air traffic controllers? What would be a practical solution for that? It would be a computerized air traffic controlling system. And that, if it's computer-based, it would be able to handle aircraft, drones, personal vehicles. I think that it's unlimited what the possibilities are.
You can't tell me that a drone carrying a dozen eggs to go over to Phyllis's house takes priority of an airline that's got 200 people on it trying. I don't think I don't think drones are ever going to put Squawk technology to let them know who's in the area with what drone. I don't think they want to have that kind of picture.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
With my previous with the real estate investment trust company, so we invested in some pretty pricey drones to go do surveys of properties. We could get up and see the top of buildings without having to actually bring a ladder and this and that and the other, as well as
Fencing.
not fencing, but geolocation, as well as distance, size, and the property boundaries, and all the things that you can do with those drones, and are very heavy fines if you're not following what you're supposed to be doing when you're flying those drones. And so, when you think about air grids, I don't think it's a very difficult problem to solve, because if you're traveling west, you need to be at altitude. If you're traveling east, you need to be at this altitude, right? If you're traveling north, if you're traveling south, I don't think it's difficult for a computer system to be able to manage those things. But on the back side of that, there has to be a fail-safe in keeping a human in air traffic control, making sure that those systems are functioning the way that they're supposed to. Air traffic control is probably one of the most stressful jobs in the world. I have a friend of mine that actually is an air traffic controller, and it's no joke. Those guys really wear their responsibility pretty well.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're using antiquated and we're seeing this uptick in accidents and things like that, I think really supports the efforts for us as the people to, okay, it's time to upgrade systems, folks. We can't keep using 60, 70-year-old technology when we know that the government has technology that's 10 years ahead of whatever we see on the market.
Yeah, 10 years.
You still can't account for little Johnny with the kite.
Right.
No, that's true.
Just a quick website search or a web search. Amazon plans to expand prime air drone delivery to Kansas City.
Wow.
But when the drones are at like a lower level, they're not going to be up as high as the airplanes, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
There's a thousand.
Airport. You have a major airport in the middle of downtown of Kansas City. So it exists. Somebody in downtown, kid flying his drone. Oops, it's over the air. I want to go see that airplane. Man, boom, engine explodes, and then we have problems, and whatever the case may be. So, the possibility is there. I think as technology gets smarter, and we look at swing that they can't build into these things, sort of communication that says, oh, there's a plane, and kill the drone so it drops. I mean, there's all kinds of things that they can do.
Right, right. Or they could put some kind of explosives and blow up. That'd be really cool.
TikTok shop.
But that's right. April Shower said,
Don't pull an atom.
yeah, exactly. April Shower said, drones delivered from Amazon to my daughter's house in Atlanta. Interesting. I didn't know that.
And Sam, it's only cool if it isn't your 40,000.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys all know I'm a nerd. I'm into lasers. I'm into technology. I remember the first drone I bought, which would have been like 2014 or 15. And it was just one of the, look at Alex with his leg. Alex, if that, it would probably fry the camera on my iPad. But the first one I bought and started playing with was, I want to say 2014, 2015-ish. And it was interesting. I mean, they're so much more advanced now. And I have several drones, as you might imagine anyway. But I just love that technology. I think it just, I like it.
I think the new drones are having, is it LiDAR? Is it LiDAR?
LiDAR is a penetrating radar. That's a ground penetrating radar.
So something like that, the drones have now. Like if there's an irrigator, it'll come up to it, raise up, and then go.
Oh, avoidance technology. Yeah, it's avoidance technology.
Yeah, it's got some kind of
Right.
sensor in it.
Right. B. Bethany, thank you for all the gifts. That's very sweet. Jerry BR said the movie Tin. I'm not familiar with that movie.
That's a movie about air traffic controllers.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's a freaking great movie. 100%.
Lisa Maria said, we love the TikTok shop. Isn't that the truth? In more ways than one, actually.
Really Bob Thornton. All right, back to the article.
All right. So we have, this is a good one. And James, you're going to report on this first. When a reporter asked Tom Homan, why not just the sanctuary city leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens from deportation? Homan said, quote, wait until you see what's coming. James?
You know, he's got a probably an oversized can of whoop ass. He does want to use it. And, you know, any call to the stage and you have the tenacity to call Tom Homan, yeah, he's full of whoop ass. He really is. And I know he wants to use it.
100,000 likes.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
It's just me, but Tom Homan, okay, all he needs is the sailor hat, the corn cob pipe, and the canister.
True.
That dude is on.
Yeah.
Zero F's given.
Yeah.
Tom Homan.
Yeah, he feels like everybody's uncle, doesn't it?
Yeah. Bear said it's a good movie. I should watch it. What's it called again?
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup? Okay. I thought that was a golf movie.
Yeah, that's not right, is it?
I don't think it's Tin Cup.
No, you just said a tin connection or something.
I don't know. Anyway, Deb M., who has been pushing people to tap all day, we hit 100K. Yes, we did, John. Lisa Maria said, what's up?
Pushing 10.
Pushing 10.
Yeah.
Oh, pushing 10. T-I-N or T-E-N? T-I-N. Okay. Tom Homan, or Lisa Maria said, Tom Homan, badass. He's a boss. Isn't that the truth? Hey, Daddy D made it. Scratch 65 said, who's getting the first arrest? Good question. We don't know yet. All right, so let's move on. We have North Carolina Senate passed a bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And then we had that followed up by Bitcoin Magazine saying that Bitcoin and the crypto capital hit $3 trillion yesterday. Now, Lee, from a straw man perspective, what is your take on the rise of cryptocurrency versus currency?
Fiat's gone. Fiat is literally a promissory note. It's like we're in debt with a debt. So U.S. currency is not really a thing. We're going to go to numbers. Basically, it's going to be credits. It's from your securities. It's going to be, the blockchain. But I'm trying to be careful with what I say because I know you guys have warnings and stuff like that. But just start to look at the things around you. Like what does the billing statement look like? What does, and he's getting rid of currency. Then you have to go to what species of payment do we have then? Is it going to be just blockchain? Be, the credits off the private side of the ledger? Is it going to be, that kind of stuff? Because essentially fiat is a debt. So how do you have debt with a debt? And then on top of it, anything that you've already purchased was already paid for. So they're double dipping. They're double dipping. So on one side you pay with fiat, but then the other side, whatever you had just purchased was already paid for.
Right. Very well. What are your thoughts?
Well, store of wealth. In the last year, the performance of Bitcoin is up 54.74%. So if you're going to put some money somewhere that you want to see transparency and security, nobody can sit down at Bitcoin and go, hey, there's more.
Exactly.
You get some. Oh, I'm going to give some to you too. Right? So do your folks. If you're interested in learning how to get into the Bitcoin frenzy market, storage, keeping it, selling it, go to Sam's website, samshalhoub.com, book an appointment with Sam. He'll teach you his method for getting into the Bitcoin. I encourage everybody to at least be aware of the crypto blockchain phenomenon. It's still at a very low adoption as far as the number of that are in it. But I think as you see world governments that are coming out and saying this is that we can build a store of wealth, which is the same thing. Gold isn't worth anything unless people desire it. As desire for Bitcoin goes up, so will the price. So even if you know nothing now, for since 2009, yes, it was the first. You are still early to the party if you're getting involved now. The adoption phase has not taken off. It's about to. I couldn't tell you whether it's going to be next week, next month, next year. It could be over the course of the next 5 years. I'm about the long game. Mr. Impatient down here in the corner says, but it's a bad idea to stay educated on emerging technologies, and this is a store. This is a place where now you have the big investment channels and the big money investors saying, hey, we're putting money there, whereas 5-10 years ago it was a scam and only criminals use it. And so do yourself the favor and start educating yourself on blockchain and what it means. And we've said it before on the show, there's going to be a time in the not too distant future where your house is on the blockchain, the title for your house on the blockchain, the agreement for the title on the house is on the blockchain. And once it's there, you own it, folks.
Yep.
No more need for title insurance, because you have a trackable record of who owns what and where it's at.
Right.
And then
Ask you guys a question. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I'm sorry. Just let me finish that. You put everything in your trust. Dory says you can be robbed of everything you own very easily with wallets. Yes, but if it's in a private trust, it'd be harder to take.
Right. Well, and that's the reason for the cold, storing the coins. Brad Rice.
Bitcoin?
What's that?
Who started Bitcoin?
Laura?
Satoshi Nakamoto, but that is just an alias at this point, as far as we know. I have my theories on.
You got instincts?
Do you want to know who I read it?
Yes, please.
Dan Pena says Russia.
I don't think so. I think it was much closer to home than that. You know who I think started it? I think Alan Greenspan did. Federal Reserve. Yep.
Well, I can add to your North Carolina Bitcoin Reserve comment. Right now, in the race to own and hold Bitcoin, 16 states in our union own Bitcoin as far as their state's reserve. Take one guess at who the first one was.
Texas?
New York.
Who?
Cali.
Reed Rasner State.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of surprising. So New Hampshire, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona, Utah, Illinois, Kansas, Massachusetts, Alabama, Michigan, Montana, and New Jersey, and Oklahoma is working on a bill to adopt that same program.
7 states are pushing for it.
We're probably going to get it sooner or later, but the one that you would think that would be first on the list would be Capital of America, for finance. And
Yeah. Well, time will tell.
Because New York houses the Wall Street.
Yeah.
So
Right.
there ain't nobody there. It's
Brad-
all done.
Brad Wright said buy XRP and Bitcoin. And I agree with that. I was not a proponent of XRP until in the recent past. I've always been a Bitcoin maxi, but I think you're right, Brad. Bitcoin and John Gwynn said his mind has been blown. I get it. All right. So you guys are fed. We had 110,000 likes. That is phenomenal. Thank you, everybody. What's that?
I'm helping.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's do this. Wait, we got to dance. That's right. Alex, will you cue it up?
Yeah. Oh, we got to dance, right? He almost tried to get out of it.
Exactly. All right, at home, And Lee, we're taking you at your word that you're dancing during this time. All right,
I promise.
let's cue it up, everybody.
I'm trying. What happened?
Dun, dun, dun.
And everybody at home, you better be standing up and dancing. I want to see a bunch of dancing emojis in the chat to indicate that you are dancing with us. If we
That's cheating, Dave.
you do, yeah, Dave, come on, Dave. All right, we're having some technical difficulties, but
No, we're not. iTunes is asking me if I want to download.
He needs a good new IT guy.
yeah.
Really?
There we go. All right, everybody at home, stand up, get some exercise, get that blood flowing. Let's dance party started. Here we go. All the dancing emojis in the chat. Keep them coming. Let's hit more dancing emojis. Yeah. Dance it. Everybody at home, stand up and dance. All right. Good job, everybody. Oh my gosh, look at all of the dancing emojis in the chat. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful. I just love all the dancing emojis. All right, so let's move to final thoughts. James?
Well, with all the things that are going on, got to keep our soldiers in your prayers, soldiers in your thoughts. It doesn't hurt to have a little prayer at dinner time or breakfast time. Think about everything around you and everything you want to hold close.
Yeah, well said. Dave?
While we were talking, Trump unveils 2000 budget proposal calling for 163 billion in cuts to non-spending. He's always working. He's down in Mar-a-Lago for the night, and he'll probably play a little bit of golf, but he's working 20 hours a day, guys.
Exactly. Lee?
I think it's a great time to be alive. And when you're watching the news, if you do, I don't really watch the news. TikTok is my news. But when they're talking about security, don't always think about like securing the borders and things like that. I want you guys to think about your personal securities that are inherently yours from day one. So, how words are spelled. So make sure that you know the other side of that meaning, because again, there's two sides of the ledger. And when somebody says securities, don't always think like protection kind of a thing. It is, you have securities on the back ledger.
Well stated, Lee. Thank you. Alex?
It's Friday. We're going into the weekend. Hopefully, in your part of the country is good. Try to perpetrate a random act of kindness this weekend, folks. Just for the sake of and humanity. Hold a door open for somebody. Smile at somebody. Tell somebody you're having a great day. And I hope that all of you amazing weekend. Thank you.
Very well stated, Alex. So everybody at home, thank you. 116,000 likes. We hit our daily goal. We have, and I'm just so tickled pink that we get to do this every day. Thank you is all I can say. And as Alex said, get outside, get some fresh air. As Lee is a proponent of, take care of yourself. it's important because the is yet to come. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll we'll see you over the weekend if something major happens, but otherwise we'll see you on Monday morning a.m. Pacific time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, James. Oh, there we go.
Wait for the chorus. One is specifically Friday driven to all the trolls. Quite frankly, we love the trolls on Sam's show.
Exactly.